Today is going to be an interesting day. It's iPhone day, and I'm actually going to the Pasadena location to pick mine up. I don't think I've ever really done this before. There's still a line for
yes, and this is something you ordered online.
I will tell you one thing though, while I'm here, I do want to just put this out there. I cannot wait to get rid of this one.
It took a little while for me to get this unboxing off the ground, but let's just say that after I picked up the phone, a couple of other things happened that delayed the rest of this video. Anyway, here we are with the iPhone 11 Pro in particular. This is the one that I wanted to get because it's the smaller version of the Pro variant. I can't state this enough. I'm really happy to give up the iPhone XS Max. Now, obviously everyone else already has their unboxings out and whatnot, but I think I'll be able to provide a little bit more value in the middle of this unboxing by talking about the top 5 complaints with this phone so far. Also, it's a way for me to just sort of steel myself for all of the things that I might be experiencing with this phone as I do my full review. Ooh, that's kind of nice how it just sort of opens up like that. It's almost like a Japanese onigiri in a way. All right, so easy removal of the plastic, no need for scissors or anything else. Now, before I even open up this thing, if you take a look at the graphic on the front here, one of the first complaints that people had with this phone was its look, the design. Now I get it, having all of these cameras in the top corner, especially how big they are and how much they protrude out of the phone, well, at first it looked really hokey, and I totally get where everybody was really upset about that. Not to mention the fact that the iPhone doesn't really have a different design after the last few years. And of course, we're going to talk about the display in a little bit, but just to sort of bring that up real quick, there is still a notch, and it's a large notch. It's the same one that you've seen in the last couple of years. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and just get this thing going. Let's open this up. And now, okay. I have seen just the renders like off of this box and off of the announcement and whatnot. Now that I'm actually taking a look at it, yeah, those cameras do come out quite a bit, and it's a bit of a jarring look. One thing I already truly appreciate though is this frosted glass here. It's less gaudy than glossy glass, and I actually kind of like the look of it. It is interesting though that the camera hump around the actual optics are going to be glossy still. Last year when I got the iPhone XS Max, the reason why I went for that and that particular color is because I felt like that would be the big traffic driver on my channel. That's the version that everyone was sort of opining over. But this year I decided to just go with what I felt like I wanted, and that's probably going to end up being a much better experience overall. So hence the iPhone 11 Pro, the smaller one. But that notch, it still cuts into the content a little bit, and honestly, despite any of the Face ID improvements that they might have made, it's still a glaring thing. Not to mention that some people out there in the current smartphone world might look at a Pro variant of a phone and expect something like a higher resolution display, maybe something closer to Quad HD resolution that we see in a lot of Android phones. And as we're starting to see more of in Android phones, higher refresh rate screens. And now we're at Face ID, so let's talk about the third complaint that some people had, and that is no Touch ID. Now obviously Touch ID is something that they already took away from the last couple of generations of the iPhone, starting with the 10. And while people kind of miss that home button, there are other ways of bringing back Touch ID, maybe with an in-display fingerprint sensor. The setup is going just fine, so I'm going to go ahead and go through the box contents a little bit more, which segues into the next complaint some people had. The fact that the phone doesn't have a USB-C port. Apple stuck with Lightning once again, and I can kind of get that because there are so many people out there who still have Lightning cords from the last few generations of the phone, but at the same time, it's kind of weird because Apple is using USB-C in plenty of other of their devices in their ecosystem. One thing that did improve, thank goodness, is the fact that a fast charger is in the box. Well, faster than what you're used to. This is an 18-watt charger here. Of course, we have the cable down here, which is a Lightning cable to USB-C. So they're kind of going in that direction, but not really. At least charging this phone up is not going to be that big a deal. And apparently with a better battery, a bigger battery, and better battery life in general, you shouldn't have to charge this thing up as often as many Apple users have been used to in the past. Yeah, I'll keep the true tone, and let's go for the dark mode. Obviously, this is going to be one of those features that people are really into, the dark mode on iOS 13. I know a couple of people who've already updated their phones to iOS 13 and dark mode. They love it already. All right, there we go. I can probably just start popping into the App Store and getting all the stuff that I want to try out. But there is one last thing that I want to talk about when it comes to the iPhone 11 Pro and the Pro Max in particular, and it's the final complaint, and that is price. There are a few different layers to this particular complaint because you have the iPhone 11, which is at a really competitive price. And as many people on the internet have already been saying, that's the phone that most people should be getting. But in particular, the iPhone 11 Pro and the Pro Max are the phones that are supposed to have the features that really differentiate them from the iPhone 11. And if you take a look at it in that lens, no pun intended, you are going to end up getting a telephoto lens, that's the third camera on here, and then you're paying for the fast charger and the updated cable that's in the box. And then of course there's that thing Apple always does, which is make you pay a lot more for higher storage options. Especially since the base model is 64 gigabytes only, that still feels a little bit like a cash grab. But are those things all enough to go for the Pro or the Pro Max over the regular iPhone 11? Well, for some people, not really. There's not a lot in this phone that actually differentiates it for a $300+ premium. Now, of course, for me, the reason why I went for the iPhone 11 Pro, not only because of the size, but I had a phone to trade in. I was able to trade in the XS Max, like I said before, and I was happy to give up a phone I didn't enjoy for one that I feel like I will enjoy. And part of the reason why is because of that camera package. But if you just don't have the money to put down for the Pro models, then the iPhone 11 is going to be just fine for you. But there might be a few people out there, and you can let me know in the comment sections down below if you think the price of the Pros are still way too high, just as high as you might have complained about with the iPhone 10 and the XS over the last couple of years. But in any case, that should pretty much do it for my unboxing of the iPhone 11 Pro. This is the Midnight Green edition, by the way. I think it looks awesome, but I might be putting a case on here or maybe a skin. I'm not too sure yet. I'm honestly really excited to use this every day for the next couple of weeks before I give you my full review. After all, I'm coming from more the Android ecosystem. Obviously, I'm really in tune with the Google side of things, but this is the most compelling iPhone, at least for me, that makes me feel like I should have two phones in my pocket at most times, one of them being the iPhone. So you can look forward to what my experience is going to be like with this particular device by subscribing to my channel if you haven't already. Drop some likes on this video so I know that you like this kind of video, the unboxing with some of the complaints in mind. And then from there, get into the comment sections down below. Let me know what you think about the iPhone 11, the iPhone 11 Pro, and the Pro Max, and what some of your complaints might be so far. If you got the phone, let me know what your experience has been so far. All right, I'm going to go ahead and call it on this one. Thank you so much for watching. Finally got this phone out of the box, and I'll start using it immediately. And until my next video, I would just remind you to enjoy your tea, everybody.